Alright. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back. In the top right side of the map, we've got Serral here. AFK for 7 seconds. What is going on? Guys, Serral did not build a drone for 7 seconds, which would make sense if he was planning to 12 pool. It would also make sense if he thought he started the drone, he didn't click it because he's not warmed up properly, or perhaps he's too warm. This is Maestros of the game, the live playoffs. It's played during the biggest heat wave in record in France. It's in Paris, it's sweaty, it's hot, and Serral's playing Maru in the bottom left, who's going to be faring no better. Who is going to handle the heat better? Korea does get very hot sometimes. Finland, I don't think, ever really gets particularly hot. But we're going to see how this match goes. It is the upper bracket finals. Classic and Hero are down there in the lower bracket semis. It's these top 4 players have been flown into Paris, and they're going to be fighting for the rights to win. I think it's $20,000, $30,000, something like that. A very good prize pool. And of course, getting to perform in front of that Paris, that French StarCraft crowd. They are some of the noisiest, loudest, nerdiest people ever. I absolutely adore the French crowd. They are so much fun. One of my favorite fan bases. And there's just been so much esports. You go back to the early days, the Tastosis of France, Pomfitude, running lots of events over there. O Gaming for many years, having a studio in Paris, having Meltdown and these like gaming esports focused bars kind of kick off in Paris originally. It's just a really, really cool scene over there. And as a result, you have a lot of very loud and noisy nerds who get after it. So kind of excited to see if that affects the players at all, you know? Are they going to get a bit more excited, a bit more nervous, play out of their minds because of it? People say Maru plays a bit worse overseas. People say Serral plays even better than anyone else when it comes to live events. He's unshakable, and he actually just thrives in that environment. But a sloppy start for Serral, as I said, not starting a worker for 7 seconds. It's just going to make his opening a little less efficient, and he might be a little upset with that. Now, keep in mind, this might be the last tournament we're casting on 12 workers. I have no idea if Blizzard intends to keep that 8 worker change or not, but this was played on a mod since the new patch had just come out, and of course a lot of the organizers don't feel the patch is super well balanced or organized just yet. They're like, hey man, we've been doing this tournament, running it for like the last 2 months leading into this point. We're gonna host this on a mod, and I think that's totally fair. That being said, Home Story Cup's being run later this week from when I'm casting this, and it is, they've said they're going to play on the live game because the pro players actually voted for that, saying, hey, dude, if the patch is bad, we need to let, play big tournaments on it, let Blizzard know what's bad, let them fix it as quickly as possible. So looks like we will be getting the next big tournament right after this one on the live version of the game. Reaper's going to rotate to that right side. Queens are around. So we've got 2 queens out, third one building in the main. And that third command center on the natural to start the wall. If notice, he builds it nice and far north, so there's no like diagonal corner between it and this crate in which Zerglings could squeeze through. And it's going to be pretty standard. Starport and second gas both before Hellion production. Maru, of course, massively prioritizing getting those Banshees out, which will keep him safe against any sort of aggression. And that's very important because we know that Serral, Raynor, these Basilisk Zergs, they've studied Maru, and they know that he loves to be greedy. He loves to rush double upgrades off of a 3 command center build. They know that he plays the greediest of starts, but oh, he's trapped. Maru's going to lose this Reaper. He gets 1 Zergling. He's trying to regen here, but with Ling Speed kicking in, the Reaper goes down. There goes your map control. And will Serral sneak some Lings across the map now? Will he try to get over there before the Hellions pin him in? I'd love to see him move out around the side, and then when the Hellions leave, you run in and try to pick off a few SCVs. For now, it's just drones. Banshee on the side of Maru. Notice he's not started Cloak. He's gone Banshee first. Cloak at 100 gas is when he'd be able to click that. Is he going to commit to it? I think against the top Zergs, Cloak is a little overrated outside of surprise scenarios. He will start it. I think often, even just showing 2 Banshees, you're going to force your opponent to make 1 to 2 Overseers, 3 Spore Crawlers. Be a bit more careful. Often start their lair earlier if they hadn't already intended to do it. And it's kind of the same as investing in it. But 100 minerals and 100 gas when you're on 3 command centers is, of course, not the end of the world. It's just that naturally, if you go to 6 or even 8 Hellions, in this case it's going to be 6 as he swaps the factory, and you go 2 Cloaked Banshees, your Stim Marines, your Medivacs, you'll kind of follow up the pressure that's meant to extend from kind of the late early game all the way through the mid game and is meant to keep the creep in control. It's massively delayed. And Zerg, therefore, has a bigger window to blossom their creep spread, get it out, and we all know how creep spread works. Once the Zerg gets it past the midpoint of the map, it's kind of uncontainable. it spreads on like 7 different paths at once. Terran does not have accessible detection. Ravens, of course, not being a unit they enjoy investing in early on. Banshee gets 2 drones, forces a little bit of denied mining time there, and that delay on Cloak, of course, it's gonna come in, but by then the spores will be built. And notice he's not got a spore in the main or the natural. He's only built 1 spore and 1 overseer because Serral is so used to playing against cloakless banshees. He's actually completely safe against that option. Ooh, 4th hatchery goes down. Hellions, I don't think they can out DPS a hatchery. Ooh, yes they can. Never mind. 6 Hellions is just enough. It's gone down to 80 hit points. 60. 50. Okay, yeah, they can target this down if they commit. And that's a good way to play it. Now, when it rebuilds, it instantly starts with over 100 hit points. But hold on. Oh, no, Maru didn't have his wall off up. He's floated his third out. He has nothing at home. The SCVs and Marines have to fight. And, of course, the Lings happy to get a bunch of SCVs, delay some of these barracks. He's going to pull these Lings away, knowing the Hellions are almost there. He's already done a big disruption for just barely any cost. And that is an excellent play there for Serral. He gets his 4th base up now. Spire's on the way. Double Evo upgrades. Spire's an excellent choice. Maru is famously a bit slower when it comes to the mid-game with keeping up with the top Zergs. Now, maybe that's an old talking point since Maru's had kind of game-changing physiotherapy. He's been at a professional sports clinic where his shoulder injury has been the best it's ever been in the last 6 months. And his pace has clearly been faster as a result of that. But Mutas still is usually, at least when Raynor plays it, if he gets to Mutalisks in an even or ahead situation, he usually rolls over Maru with multitasking in that mid-game. Maru's gonna dominate late game against a Raynor or someone like that, or a Dark, but getting there when the opponent has units that can bounce around your main, your natural, Wildling Banes rolling in from all sides, very difficult, very multitasking heavy to deal with. And of course, Serral also often has the advantage in late game against Maru as well. He's not really the guy who's just going to dive Mutiling Bane as an all-in. He'll use it as a transitionary force to set up an advantage and try to get ahead from there. Of course, the disadvantage you accept when you go Mutalisks is your gas is going to be spent on those Mutas, which means the upgrades are very late. Only now starts +1 melee. I don't know if he realizes that he didn't start Carapace there. Yeah, Serral a little bit distracted here at the start of the day. Starts the less important upgrade. He chucks it beyond. There we go. He does start it now as he pushes the double drop away. Mutas flying forwards on this right side. Are there turrets up? They've just started. Few Marines are nearby. He spots that early 4th command center. Now he can fight those Marines easily. That's 6 Marines. They're running towards the Mutalisks, hoping the Mutalisks don't realize they can win that fight. The Mutalisks, one of them does go down, but they've already got 1 siege tank. They're about to grab a 2nd tank. That makes any futureling Bane attack so much scarier. Finds himself a Banshee as well, but is he going to get cornered? The answer is no. Good micro. Oh, he stays a bit too long. Loses a 2nd Mutalisk, but I think that's great damage for a Serral who's now got 8 gases coming up. His 5th base is established in the left. His creep spread, it's not too far out. He does need to put a bit of attention towards that. Even the top pros in the world struggle to keep their creep going in the midst of flying Mutas around the back of their opponent's bases. I do think it's partially also a practice thing. You'll notice that Mutas have been so rare in this matchup for the last few years that I always feel like there's a little bit more sloppiness, even from the best Zergs in the world, when they're playing Muta versus Terran in the mid-game. Muta's flying through there. Gonna dance around the back. Chat's telling me Germany versus Paraguay has gone to penalty. No. Sorry, we shouldn't have football spoilers here in the car, should we? Oh, that's fine. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Damn, it's also quite unexpected. +2 flyer attack on the way here. Still no infestation pit for Serral. He's just got that 90 drone Massling Bane Muta play. Maru rightfully is calming things down. Now, I do think Drilling Claws coming in is going to help a bit with his maneuverability. Establishing the 4th is the key. Spreading around these bases. And of course, Maru has to walk a very fine line right now. We'll talk about that in a moment as the Mutas come in. Take out that Widowmine before it can fire. Or should be able to push him away with his Marines. So it's a fine line. Number 1, Serral's going to roll you in the late game, right? If you're not careful. So you've got to go towards Ghosts. You've got to go towards Command Centers, Ghosts, Libs, all these things. On the other hand, this is Mutiling Bane. There are some very scary mid-game timings. You do need to max out now so that you survive. Often Maru stops at about 160 supply in these cases. Stops building army. You can see here he stopped building Marines for the most part, but he's already mostly maxed. But he can't, and then he just gets overrun by timing attacks against Serral in the past, and he can't leave that opening Serral's on Mutiling Bane. You always play late Hive with this style. Serral's going to go for it. Remember, a bunch of the tanks already died. There's not that many units on this side. A lot of them are on the left. The mass Baneling rolling towards the Planetary Fortress. He wants to just blow that Planetary up. Does Serral? He's going to take out the Planetary. The bio is getting microed very nicely. You know what? Only 9 SCVs. I think that could have been a lot worse for Maru. Planetary goes down, but units lost tab is close to even, and that's very scary. Maru wants his trading to be way better, but how many tanks has he got, guys? 2 siege tanks. Oh, that's not what he wants. He needs more than that. He's going to think about counter-pressuring, but I think he's really got to worry about just turtling in this game for now. Get to the 5th base, and then think about pushing. Late game, you can deny these middle bases for a long time, and then eventually crawl your way out to them as Terran. Late game on White Rabbit does shift from Zerg favored to Terran favored if you make it far enough. Thor's getting jumped on. Oh, Serral takes out a Thor. Misstep there for Maru. Siege tank in the open on this side. That's a lot of Banelings coming in there. The Marines are dangerously exposed. Banelings rolling forwards. Take out a lot of these Marines and SCVs, but of course Banelings aren't cheap. They are single-use units, guys. No recycling here. Mutas are going to pull to the right side. 2-2s on the way. 3-3 upgrades as well. +2 vehicle weapons coming in. 6th base for Serral is established. Interestingly, Serral has not started thinking about edge bases, corner bases, mining out his opponent's resources because he's playing this more mid-game focused style, and so far it's leading him to a pretty good advantage. He flies in again, gets more damage. You'll notice that often Maru's late game is centered upon him having several minutes of downtime where he can layer his planetaries, his orbitals, his turrets, get his layers of defense perfectly set up. I think Serral's entire goal here is to avoid giving him that easy setup period, to get in his face and make this as difficult as possible. Adrenal Glands comes in now that Hive is done. No Vipers or anything like that. And you got to think, well, what would be the next step? Obviously, maybe Ultras, but I mean, the Marauder count's already growing. He's building a bunch of Spine Crawlers in the middle, I guess, in case there's some sort of counter-attack. He's just thinking ahead. He's like, let's just basically build insurance in this game. If I end up kind of base trading, you know, he basically builds 8 static defense structures, a bunch of spines and spores, builds 8 more drones to replace them. He can keep doing that all day. Basically trust in his bank advantage. He knows Maru has some of the best counter pushes in the late game. I don't think Serral does this versus any other Terran, but Maru is very good at, like, you lower his economy, he withstands a few waves, and then he's like, oh, I have 160 army supply, and he just shoves through the middle and wins the game. He's done this in pretty much every matchup, dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Hundreds of times would be a simpler way of saying that, because it has been hundreds of times in important pro matches for him. Marine Marauder Thor coming forwards. The Ling Bane getting baited, but there's not that many Widow Mines. There's only 6 Widow Mines on this map. I do think that's a mistake. 1 Widow Mine fires, but second one gets picked off before it can shoot. Mutalisks take off the sensor tower. With +1 Flyer Carapace coming, it's going to be 2-1 on the Mutalisks. We've got 3-3 coming in on these. Ultra Cavern comes up now. Burrow as well. You can add the Ultra upgrades. You don't really need Ultras just yet. They'll be great against the Marines, good against the Widow Mines, not as good against the Marauders. 2 tanks building, +3 vehicle weapons, really going to help out with this turtle style. There's 3 factory. Maru in survival mode. Maru has made some of the most disgusting comebacks ever in the past. The thing is, if this was Raynor, I'd be so worried. But because Serral is so patient always and just doesn't take bad fights, like, look at the trading. It's close to even, and he's obviously got so much more of the map. Serral is so patient. His whole game plan is always about trying to force you into bad fights. And you think, obviously, that should be the core of any StarCraft player, but Serral does it better than anybody else. He's going to rotate around the backside. He's going to find this missile turret in the main, which opens up a bunch of worker kills. He's leading Maru on a merry chase around this base. Ooh, and at that same time, 3rd base getting jumped on. Muta's going to go after the turrets in that 3rd. Ling Bane rolling over everything else. Lings get on top of those SCVs. The Mutalisks going for the Orbital Command Center. Does take out the turret underneath it. There's another turret underneath it that he's not quite targeted, so a few Mutalisks are going down, but I think for the Orbital Command Center, that's more than worth it, and indeed it is. Gets the Orbital Command Center, 16 SCVs. That was a brilliant tactical play there for Serral, who's now building 8 Ultralisks, and he's also making Microbial Shroud. Remember, this is pre-patch, guys. You still need to upgrade Microbial Shroud in this version of the game. Serral and Shin are the only 2 players in the world who are taking use and making use of that Microbial Shroud in a very regular way. I think post-patch, they're going to get big buffs. Serral and Shin both loving their Ultra Infestor timings. You've got to keep the tempo high enough that your opponent's not on Mass Ghost. Otherwise, the Microbial's not going to do that much. Doesn't stop Snipe, that's spell damage. Funny term, isn't it? Spell damage that we use in StarCraft. I feel almost like we should just use ability damage, but I mean, it is energy-based abilities, right? Just sounds very Warcraft-esque, not very StarCraft. And you're like, no, he's using spells. Especially when you're talking about a spell called literally just using a sniper shot. Anyways, Ultra Baneling rolling forward. Some of those guys on the left could find the real damage. Muta's flying on the right side. Can they find anything? Ooh, pretty good defensive position here. The Ultras will get forced back. Nice hold there by Maru, but at the same time, third base got ransacked, loses a reactor, loses some infrastructure. And this is that stage where it's just the ghosts are only now coming out. If those ghosts were already out, every time these fights happen, you've got snipes landing on the Ultras, making you pay a big price for it. As it is, units lost tab, still within 1,200 resources of each other. Yet Serral has now transferred to these two middle bases. These are the bases Terran's meant to be able to deny in the late game on this map. But Maru's struggling so hard just to keep his 5 base established. It's not so easy. Creepers on the doorstep as well. It's usually the first sign of the end in a ZVT. If there's creep encroaching on your base, remember that gives a massive movement boost to these melee units, where movement speed is everything, closing the gap, getting on top of the Terran units. It's half of the battle. Big thank you guys for the raid. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you. Hope you had a great stream, Vanya TV. Even range attacks coming in, +2 flyer carapace. Serral not missing any beats here. So many people, it feels like, get more scrappy, more intuitive, more chaotic the longer the game goes. Serral is one of those players, you could tell he has a checklist. He could be 37 minutes into a game, such a kind of dynamic and complicated situation, and you could tell Serral still just has a checklist. He really is. He's one of these, you know, a lot of people are like some really crappy casual amateur pilot who's like, yeah, the plane's not working, I don't know, press some random buttons. It's me in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Serral is a proper professional pilot who pulls out that checklist as the plane is crashing and starts ticking off those items, man. Ultra Bane never overcommitting there. Denying that 4th base again. The 3rd base struggling to reestablish. And it's like, damn, you need turrets everywhere, but you also need anti-Zergling, anti-Baneling, anti-Ultra. And Maru, this is a true test. It's a very frustrating game because you aren't making any plays. You are just trying to survive your opponent's plays for this entire early game. Chat's pointing out when Serral gets to 10,000 minerals, guys, he will start building a Wonder in his main base, and that will activate a 100-year win condition. If Maru doesn't kill the Wonder before 100 years, he will die. Yep, that's definitely how StarCraft works. I agree, guys. Maru, Marine Marauder coming out, gets a queen. Immediately Serral says, get back in your corner, boy. Maru doesn't have a lot of Widow Mines set up. He's trying to go Fusion Core. He's maxed out. It's 9 tanks, 12 Marauders, 21 Marines, 8 Ghosts. This Mutalisk just always finding little angles. Finally gets punished. Finally. Your Mutalisks do get sniped. Units lost tab now 2,000, or actually almost 3,000, 2,500, let's say, in favor of Maru. Needs more like that. He's getting a bit of confidence now. I almost wish he took these rocks down, though, so he could kind of move around to the right side as well. And for him, it's you got to try and deny usually the edge bases. Since the middle base is usually mined out by the time you get there, but it's hard to get there with how little map control he's had, how much creep there is out. The Ultras, the Lings, the Banes, ready to ambush from all sides. Infestors, the first spellcasters to join the fray from the Zerg side. You might wonder, why did he take so long? It's because he was playing Mutalisks. You've only got so much army supply that's good at fighting when you're heavy on Mutalisks. Now he's lost most of his Mutalisks. He's down to just 4 queens. So even though he still has a crazy work account, he actually can afford the army supply for non-combat units, guys that just do supporting roles. It's also something where when you've got this fast-moving Ling Bane Ultra army, and you're attacking into entrenched Terran positions, spellcasters aren't at their best there. Spellcasters are at their best when the Terran starts moving on their map, especially when we're talking about burrowed infestors. Vipers, I guess, are a bit more versatile, but there was a big period where there wasn't that many siege tanks either, which is why the Blinding Clouds would have had a very target-light environment. Now that there's more siege tanks on the map, much more target-rich. Gonna go to the bottom right is Maru. Trying to hang in there. He's gonna look for the extreme efficiency, and you can see Serral, 20,000 resources in the bank. He's on fire right now. Any other Zerg, you feel such panic for them, giving Maru this much time to set up. Serral is the exception to the rule. Now, that being said, I saw Serral take some of the worst fights I've ever seen him take in his entire career back in the Thunderfire Invitational in China. Was that, what, 5 months ago now, guys? I think it was about 5 months ago. There's questions about how much Serral had actually played StarCraft since the previous Maestros of the game, where Clem came back, didn't he, in that one? Serral almost beat him. Clem came back and beat him in the bracket reset. Of course, that's the way this tournament works in the grand finals. Player from the upper bracket does get a second best of 3 you've got to beat them in to take them out. Ultralisk does take some big snipes to the chin. Bio dancing in and out. Spinecrawler's taking some big damage. The Marine Marauder's going to rotate around. The Thor Bio Ghost moving to the right side. Ultraling Bane is there. Serral's trying to get Maru to overcommit. He's biding his time, and now he goes for it. Baneling's rolling in with Fungal on the right side. Lots of Lings on top of the Marauders on the left. There's not enough anti-Zergling here. Baneling's even connected with some of those Ghosts. Maru's going to click a hatchery and try to pick up and leave. There's not that many Mutalisks, so let's see what he can actually save here. Only 6 Mutalisks, but they are going to find these damaged medevacs in the back, I do believe. Goes for the Liberator. Lets these ones escape. Maru gets a deny on a base. And you'd think in his mind, of course, preserving those minerals for him to mine in the future, but Serral has such a big bank already. This may have just opened up the window that he needed, and this is usually what Serral's waiting for, is Maru to move out, give away a bit of army, because the moment he's not got enough army, suddenly Zerg takes control. Serral springs into action, counterattacks. And it's a game which hasn't been particularly back and forth. It's been all Serral start to finish. But once again, that patience. Any other player just goes for the win right here. Not Serral. Just takes his time. Slowly, patiently, calmly. That's why I call him the Sandpaper Zerg. Because it often doesn't look like most people when they're playing StarCraft look like some guy furiously doing like CrossFit or something. You know, where he's like jumping up and down. He's like, yeah, I'm doing burpees. And I'm doing shoulder presses. I'm running around extreme. Serral's like an old man just sitting at his workbench, just slowly making a wood carving. And you're just like, what are you doing there, Serral? And he's like, just smoothing out the edges. And you're like, oh, okay. Couldn't you kill him if you do this or this? And he's like, that might be inefficient. I'm just going to shave off the edges. Deny this base. Look for optimal engagements. And you're like, okay. All right, you're too calm, Serral. Turret's going to spot the Infestor. Infestor does pull back. More Lingbane Ultra Muta coming in. Tanks are here. Attacking from one side, a little dangerous. Microbial, though, will make those Ultras tank a bit more. The Lingbane from the north is really going to help out in the command center going down. Oh, Serral panics and pulls away, but he pulls his army away through that, leaves the Orbital alive. Serral with his first messed up engagement of the entire game. Uh-oh. He's building Corruptors now to help deal with these Libs and Medevacs. He doesn't have enough anti-air, and he's realized that is a misstep. He will have 3-2 Corruptors. Often when players build Corruptors, they only have +1. This is actually really, really scary right now for Serral because Maru's got 140 army supply. Remember what we talked about earlier? Maru loses his economy. He replaces it with army. He's got 6 orbitals only, though he doesn't have unlimited mills behind this. Maru does not have a good bank to draw on. The Ultraling Bane rolls forward. They're going to try and clear up a few tanks while the Mutas take care of those Libs. Banelings actually took out a bunch of Ghosts there. I got to say, a bit of miss micro from Maru. So in that fight, Maru should have been more afraid of the Banelings. There was only 1 or 2 Ultras, and he should have just, I think, auto-attacked with the Ghosts. But because he didn't, the Banelings got on top, killed a bunch of Ghosts. And that also allowed the Ultras to clear up some more of those tanks than they should have been able. Only 4,000 resource loss difference between. Yes, Maru has a lot of mules, but he's only got 6 orbitals. This is all of his energy. He's going to be light on scans for the next few minutes as well. This has not come for free. And he's thinking about pushing to the left side to deny that base now, but if he pushes the left, this right side is completely forfeit. And I think this is Maru's desperate, and he's saying maybe in movement I can find some mistakes from Serral. But Lingbane Ultra Corruptor is the ultimate movement-based unit comp, and that is exactly what Serral wants. He would love to have a nice mobile. I'll give up my base on the left, deny your base on the right. Zerg's going to do that all day. He's got 19,000 resources in the bank. Serral is happy to do this. His Corruptors will pee down this orbital in the bottom. It will end up dying here, I believe, just from burning. Or if the Corruptors move south. Serral's not really watching it right now. His Infestor does branch forwards. Maru doesn't know about it. It's right here. It's right here. Neuroparasite has been made. He could steal the Thor if he wanted to. This base is going to go down. The one down there did end up getting taken out by the Corruptors. This base gets lifted. Serral happy to give up that base on the left side to gain such big advantages. Really happy with this because what do you got? 1 mineral patch there. 4 mineral patches here. 1 mineral patch there. You've lost this bottom right side base. I've got a single burrowed Zergling with a middle finger stuck up in the air saying, you can't land here. Unstable foundation, buddy. And that's brutal. That's just brutal, man. Hats off to Maru for hanging in here. I think a lot of players would have crumbled in this situation. People might think this is a confidence hitter for Maru, but I think as long as he stays calm and realizes, hey, you're behind from early, this is not that bad. Tanks take out the banelings. Very good cleanup there. The rest of the army holds despite the Microbial Shroud. Problem, as always, is the Corruptors. Microbial Shroud does not protect air units. The Corruptors have killed all of his air units. Look at this, guys. 5 medevacs, 7 libs have gone down. He's only got 2 medevacs and 2 libs alive. He needs to rebuild those incredibly expensive air units. Maru can't afford that. And has several remaxes on the ground. You know he's going to be having a lot of fun here with those units. A couple snipes try to go down, but no scan to maintain vision. Tank sieging in the back. Here comes the Ling Bane Corruptor. It's not a maxed army by Serral, not even close to a maxed army by Serral, but the Banelings glow. Well, you know when you're able to throw Banelings into siege tanks, you're having a good time. He clicks his Banelings in the middle. 5 siege tanks go down to the Banes. The Thors and Ghosts do survive, but Maru does not have the numbers to continue. Serral does. Finally, the resource lost advantage goes in Maru's favor, but it's not a big enough of a swing, and it's far too late in the game to matter. Calls down a nuke. A couple of Banelings say, no, how about this? And they do squirt acid all over his face. A brutal way to go out here. And it looks like Serral's going to take a decisive game 1. I would say never really Maru having control of this game. Start to finish, Serral just got himself a lead. The Mutas found good damage. They danced around, got a massive economy up behind it. And I do wonder if it's going to be a smaller map in map 2, where maybe Maru can apply some heavy pressure, put Serral on the ropes, because a Serral that's ahead is a frightening, frightening force to be reckoned with. Not someone I would be happy to play against. GG's, Serral takes game 1. All right, guys, Maru in the top right side here. It's going to be Verdant Temple. Ooh, okay. All right. Serral in the bottom left side of the map. Now, this is an interesting one, guys. I'm not too familiar with this map. Oh, right. Yes, I am. Sorry, I've just realized. I remember. I think this is Patches made this map. So you come down here, guys. You've got your natural there. You've got a backdoor entrance with both decaying debris. So you've got these rocks that'll decay on their own. And you've got regular destructible rocks. So very hard to open up that back door. But you might want to do this yourself, because then you get a base down here. And you could take like 3rd out front, and you could take 4th down here, 5th down here in the corner. And you can see Serral's already setting up his hotkeys down there, his camera location. So I think he might be thinking of that. Whereas if you go forward, you've got to go around here, and then that sets up a nice push angle for Terran through the middle. Also, keep in mind, beautiful map for Nidus Worm. I mean, look how much space there is in this main base. Oh my gosh, that's so hard to cover. Great for drops, great for Nidus Worms. And hell, even as a Zerg, like you could run over here, bust these rocks, and charge in with like a 1-1 roach all in, where you're attacking the front and the back at the same time. The Urubus say, Urubu, Urubu, who are you? Urubu, Urubu, if you kill me, I will put a curse upon you. For those who don't know, Urubus, my favorite critter. They are a critter where if you kill them, you get cursed. This is regularly critters, any killing of the critter gets you cursed, but Urubus especially, I think back on Babylon a few years ago, Clem kept killing them and kept losing games after killing them. So I really believe you should respect the Urubu. I am superstitious. I think there is like I've seen like 2 games ever where someone killed the Urubu and didn't lose in a really disgustingly one-sided way afterwards. It's almost always like, uh-oh, they killed the Urubu, and then the first fight, they just get completely rolled. Reaper's going to come forward. So Reaper expand against Hatch first. You can see here Serral's mining with 3 workers on gas. And was this a 15-15? This looks like a 15-15. These queens are up real early. And he's, oh yeah, you've got a worker-only path. So you can go down and take your 3rd ahead of time. Or you could... What are you doing? What you doing, mate? Reaper comes in. Good drone pullaways. Queen's out. She doesn't inject. She should be able to protect this. Good spore trick. Nicely done. Okay, Serral's going to hide a base in the corner. And he's going to play... Mutalisks? I think that... Or is it a roach all-in where you build roaches from the corner? If he puts back on gas and takes the 2nd gas early, there's an old all-in. Life did this on Merry-Go-Round in 2014, where you would do a Ravager Ling, but to stop your roaches getting spotted moving out, you would build them from a proxy hatch, walk them across from the proxy hatch, and then join up at your opponent's base. I know that's a 12-year-old lore drop build thing there, but I remember watching it at the time and thinking, this is the least efficient, crappiest all-in ever. But also, it's the ultimate surprise. Life used to do these kind of, what you'd think of as a dark build these days. Terribly inefficient on the timing, but holy crap, how you meant to see it coming, I do not know, and they always catch people off guard. Now, that's of course not very Serral coded. Serral's more of a normie. He's probably just going, hey, you think I'm 2 base, but actually, I've got a third, and I can just be droning it up on the side. And he can even transfer drones there through this worker path without his opponent seeing it. Because why would you look over that? Oh, fudge me. So Maru's going to be worried about 2-base Muta. He's going to be worried about Roachling. And look at this. And it's going to be a bit of a Ling Flood coming out. Urubu chilling. Urubu, who are you? Oh, the Reaper's here. The Lings are hiding. The Lings get spotted. He sees a few Lings. There's an Urubu there. The Urubu is watching. Who are you looking at? The Lings are going across the map. He's got plenty of Marines. As long as he gets those in the mineral line, I don't think Serral can trade, but maybe Serral can kill these depots. With the SCVs, the Marines are totally fine because the SCVs can just body block. But you get a few depots in an SCV. You've got a good worker count behind it. Double Evo is going. Oh, the Marines come out. Interesting. Yeah, Serral more mature than most of us. Most players would take the depot and lose 20 Zerglings, but he gives it up. Only a depot, he doesn't care about it. It's not a high-value target. It's a trap to risk anything over something such small payoff. You can see the 1-1 upgrades should be starting. Carapace first, does need to start melee as well. He's just hit 100 gas, so he does have the money for it. There we go. And a 4th hatchery on the left. So, you know what's cool is he's basically playing a mass Zergling low gas style. But it just looks like he's 1 base lower than he is. And that's kind of brilliant. Serral brings out so many builds. Historically, when Serral used to wipe the floor with Maru in 2024, we kind of looked at it and it was just build orders were the difference. It's just Serral came out every map with a very specific plan, tricks, little quirks to his builds, and Maru was playing very generic. Now, I like this time Maru's not playing generic. He's like, dude, I'm playing 2-base. You're playing 2-base? I'll play 2-base heavy. That way, even if you're doing a Roach Roll in or 2-base Muta, I've got plenty of units to defend. And if I deny your 3rd, this is amazing for me. Now, of course, Lings and Queen count a little bit low, but the Marines have to stim a 2nd time, and I think the Lings will just have enough numbers to clean up most of these Marines. And once most of those Marines are gone... Oh, look at the Queens focus firing hit Marines. Maru picked up one of the low hit point Marines. Absolutely legendary micro. He does have to pull back, but in Maru's mind, there is no 3rd mining. So his judgment of where this game is totally wrong. So his choice to trade there, you might think is decent. It's actually really bad. And it's purely because Serral's tricked him. In this sort of game, where your opponent's going 4-base, you're on 2, you need to commit to your attack, and it's all about getting a critical mass of Marines to overwhelm the Zerglings in a big ball. So you losing 9 Marines for 24 Zerglings, that might seem like a good trade cost-wise, but you actually need to be more efficient than that, and the numbers are going to scale positively for you the bigger the fights get. So it's drastically important that you make this work. Now, Serral, does he realize that this is a big all-in? He's got 1-1 coming in his Bane speed. He needs to buy 50 seconds for Bane speed. I think he'll be able to buy it. Another tank and few Marines are going to go down this left side. Great map vision for Serral. Look at these Zerglings everywhere. He's on 62 drones. He's doing nothing but massling Bane. And even if he loses this base, he doesn't care. Because he's got this base on the right. He's got a new hatchery there. He's tearing the rocks down as well. Just a few Zerglings will open that up for himself. While the rest of his army is still ready to fight. I love this. Serral playing so smart right now. The tanks are pretty far back. Look at that. Zerglings coming in. They're going to go for the surround of the Marine tank there. Beautiful engagement for Serral. Notice how his Banelings pulled away from the siege tank. Now the tank goes down. The Banelings come back forwards. And Maru really not finding any work. Oh, Liberator comes in. Serral not watching. Loses the Queen. I love this sort of Liberator where you're attacking elsewhere and it just sieges on top of the Queen. This is a killer at low levels. It's rare to see it work against someone like Serral. But Maru timed it just that well that it did work out. Marines come in again. Tank-friendly fire can hurt the Marines as well as Lingbane, keep in mind. I would definitely be flanking around to clear that tank. I don't think Serral needs to give this the respect he has right now. +2 Carapace coming in a bit behind +2 melee. Marines come in, gets 2 drones, picks up, pulls away for just 1 Marine. Very nice moves there. Lings are rotating around. 3rd command center finally coming up. Marines starting to damage these Queens. There are 7 Queens on this map. Maru has to keep watching this. Serral's just saying, hey, you got to keep watching this, bud. The Lings do come in from behind. Chadhammer goes down. She had 21 kills when she fell, but it's not good enough positive trading. Not with Serral taking 2 more bases. Serral has a 5th up. His 6th base on the way. He's got Infestation. His 2-2 upgrades are way ahead of Terran. And if he gets to 2-2, Terran's only on 1-1. And they fight, it's lights out. Serral already has an army supply and worker supply advantage. And siege tanks are the worst unit you could be building here against this army. They're good if Hydras join this. They're good against the clumped Banelings, but it's the overwhelming number of Zerglings that are going to cause him problems. He needs either Widow Mines, arguably Hellbats are not a terrible idea, though I think Widow Mines are definitely the more standard. Maru's going to go more for like a pure massive Marines while trying to get vehicle weapons +2. And he's got a second factory. Of course, tanks have long range. You can sit them behind cliffs, behind minerals, behind wall-offs, which is their advantage. It's going to be hard to have a dynamic position, though. Serral's Hive starts up. He's already thinking about going for Ultras. Nice drop here. I like that Maru is finding value with very little commitment. Good micro. Really good micro. But he's got to pick up now. Stay a little bit too long. And Bane's still dancing around. A bit more creep spreading down here would be really good for Serral. He's got to connect all these bases in these awkward situations. He's got 7 queens out and injecting even in the corner to keep his production up. You can see him now splitting his units. Maru committing, I think, an overcommitment. It's 1-1 against 2-1. If Serral sees this army and jumps on it, which he's going to, the tanks aren't sieged. And that is a disaster. The Banelings rolling forwards, the tanks taking massive damage. The medevacs have to pick up and pull away, and Maru, he's going for a style that he wants to turtle for a long time. These 2 medevacs escaping would be legendary. He's going to unload because he knows he's got to play a high-risk Starcraft right now. He can't play overly safe. I love the pullback on the SCVs, but the Banelings, no, they do pull back just before they get there. Marines in this mineral line doing some damage. These Marines will move out. A couple depots already going down, and Maru's going to pick up these Marines. He's got to pull them away. Do not keep dropping. There is no way that's a good choice, man. Got to send those medevacs home. Save those Marines for a rainy day. Got 2 factories now pumping siege tanks. 3rd command center trying to get back up and mining. Maru does not want to accept a defensive position. But look at this. 2-2s now finished against 1-1. Yes, +2 infantry bioweapons is not too far behind, but it feels there like Maru's in a desperate spot. I do love this move. Click the hatchery, pick up, get out of there. But oh no, he's rallied his whole army here. Oh, he does lose the siege tank. He can't be affording that. He can't be affording that. These Marines on the left side also getting pulled back. Lings are working on his back door. He never put a depot over here. It's been a hectic game, but that's bad foresight by Maru. You're meant to either pre-wall this with depots, like these depots here should all be walling that, or at least have something spotting for it. But when that goes down, that I think is probably going to be the win, is when Ling Bane rolls through his back door. Because that's going to get right up his ramp with no time to raise the depot. Serral up 20 supply right now. Equal army supply. He wouldn't mind waiting for those hive tech upgrades to come in. Oh, Maru breaks the rocks, seals the right flank. That's really nice. Here comes the Ling Bane, guys. It's coming in. The right flank had to go all the way around, so it's a bit disjointed. But there's just no Widow Mines or anything here. And a bunch of Marines do get hit. Most of them pick up and save, but how does he get home to defend? He's got 2 Widow Mines, a couple siege tanks. The depot goes up just in time. The Marines here, though, cannot defend this 3rd base, and that's really what you've got to try to defend. I love the split on the Banes for Serral. Really nice split on the Banes. Lings on the left side are getting dealt with by those Marines, and every single SCV goes down on the 3rd base. That is a 2-base Terran, effectively, in terms of mining against an 80-drone Zerg. Serral can do this all day, guys, and he's, of course, got adrenal glands. It's 3-3, less than a minute now from finishing. And it's looking like this series is all Serral. I love the corner base. I think it was so clever here. Maru's not able to keep pace with Serral in the early stages, and Serral's just getting out of control in this one, isn't he? Fascinating to see Maru pick a 2-1-1 build order this game as well, isn't it? Picking a 2-1-1, old school build order, wanted to be in control of the game from the start. Oh, those parasitic bombs doing wild damage to those medevacs. So many medevacs getting popped there. The Widow Mine's not able to fire, and Maru has to tap out. Serral on the warpath. It might be hot there in Paris. Serral thrives in all conditions. All right, guys, game 3. Serral on the top right side, and he's going to be dealing with a desperate Maru who's going to go double 14 proxy barracks marine. This is BlackRock. They are not playing the tournament edition of BlackRock, which I'm a little upset by. For those who don't know, this map has already been fixed. You can see the lighting is way too bright on this ladder edition. If you guys want to host this for a tournament, search BlackRock TE. You'll see it's also made by AVEX. AVEX has already fixed that lighting issue. Now, this is an incredibly early pool. This is a 15-15 again, same as the last game. 15-15 is meant to counter builds like this proxy barracks. Now, normally you go 18 gas. Is it 18 or 17? Maybe it's 17. Okay, 17 gas. You are meant to go factory and command center behind this. But this is meant to do big damage. You're meant to force a massive drone pool, kill a lot of drones with these Marines. But because the pool is done about 12 seconds early with a 15-15, your Zerglings, your Queens are going to be so much faster. That being said, if you don't know about the Marines, and you spend all your lava on drones, it's only the queens that are going to be earlier, not the zerglings, right? So it really depends. When does Maru show his hand? And it looks like he's going to go immediately. Serral does have the second overlord watching for this. Let's watch this from Serral's point of view. He sees it immediately. And of course, he's going to drop... Oh, he drops a roach horn. Okay, cool. So he only builds a queen in the main. He builds a roach horn. And he's saying, you know what? I might give this up. Not even going to try and fight it. He starts the second queen now from the natural. He's thinking, do I build zerglings or overlord? He's going to build one more drone, the greedy boy. The greedy boy. I think you build an overlord in the main as well. Because if you build it on the natural, it'll probably get killed by these guys. But he's not building an overlord yet. He's only got 4 supply free. He's built another drone. He's taking a second gas. He's got to build that overlord. Okay, he starts the overlord now in the main, realizing that. He's going to build 4 zerglings on the natural, which I think he's going to try and run around this bunker, if possible. I don't think Maru will let him, though. Maru's building a second bunker. Yeah, he can't. 6 zerglings coming out. He's trying to pick off an SCV. He's now changing the rally point. The queen immediately running away. Serral trying to salvage these units from the low ground. He cancels the zerglings, realizing what the hell is the point in building 6 slow zerglings if they can't even move out of my base. And he's going to have to build roaches in the main. An incredibly conservative response for Serral. And I think this is going to reset the game. And it should give... You'd think it would give Maru a slight lead. I honestly don't know. He's gone second gas before command center, which means he's going to play incredibly safe. He'll have Hellions and then Banshees out, right? Which is awesome for him. Roaches can't counterattack against that. And the thing for Serral is, can he get a third up? Because normally you break out with Roaches, you counterattack with them, and you double expand. But he might struggle to defend a third from Banshees, since he's not going to have an answer to that for quite some time. Now, building the hatchery straight away is very dangerous. And look at that, he actually builds the spore. I was going to say, if that drone gets sniped, it delays your hatchery a long time. So Maru unloads from the bunker, tries to snipe the drone. Serral quickly builds a spore to keep that drone safe, cancels it, builds the hatchery. Really good defense for Serral. Now, like I said, I often like to go third here, but I'm used to people going for a quick command center. Serral sees that command center so late. He should know Banshees are on the way, and he might just go straight for the lair here. Because lair, overseer, and then getting creep to your third, taking the third slower is actually the correct call. And it actually... Wait, it's not a Banshee. It's a Cyclone. Oh, he's going to go Cyclone Medevac Marine. Okay, right. That's also something which Roaches can't really deal with because of the long range of the Cyclone. You can pick off Overlords, be annoying, hit and run with it. Queens will clean up this barracks here. Serral is missing an inject in this main right now. A rare moment of inattention for Serral. But he sees the Cyclone, and honestly, he should just leave. I don't think he should commit here, but he's thinking about it. Seeing if he can find some value, find some slip-ups from Maru. Those Ravages take a fair bit of damage. Inject's going up in the main. He starts the lair behind this. He's going to stay 2 base for now, realizing that third base is going to be near impossible to secure. So there's a second Cyclone building. I hate the second Cyclone, guys. I think it's a massive waste of money. I think it's a nearly worthless unit. I think a tank is good because it keeps you safe against future attacks. I mean, I guess this gives you a little bit of map control. Maybe he finds an Overlord, though. Serral here just admiring the waterfall on that side. But it does feel like a big commitment for Maru. And you know, we'll see how he goes. I don't know. For me, I just always kind of feel like the Banshee might be a bit more forcing a response. Medevac doesn't keep vision there, so he does let that Roach escape. Maru not really min-maxing this counter pressure while he has map control. As his command centers come in, he will not need to build depots for a long time, and he goes double eBay. So Maru's just going to go 3CC. Game should reset. And I mean, with 3 CCs coming up, I think Maru's still in a good spot, right? He accidentally brought an SCV. Now, keep in mind, guys, hot tip. If you put that SCV on auto repair, it will auto repair other units while inside the medevac. So one of the coolest builds that absolutely sucks is basically, as a Terran, you open one base, you keep making medevacs and cyclones, but every medevac you load with 4 SCVs and 1 cyclone, and the SCV's on auto repair, and you just keep on harassing, and you let the cyclone get to red hit points, pick it up, fly off somewhere, it'll repair inside the medevac, and then you just keep doing that, and it's like, it's the endless recycling push, okay? Is it good? No. The amount of mining time you lose is not worth it. The commitment is not worth it. But yeah, I wonder if he actually has done this on purpose with the SCV. Maybe he does bring 1 SCV on auto repair on purpose. I think 1's fine. 1 SCV on auto repair is actually not a bad idea. This is very cute. One of the cool interactions in StarCraft. It took me so many years to find out about this interaction. I don't think I knew about this interaction until Legacy of the Void. More than 5 years after StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty first came out. Of course, I didn't play Terran before then, other than a bit in the very start, in the very early days, so fair enough. 2 drones go down. Serral His third base is only now coming up, but it's always in these games where you feel like surely against 3 command centers, like Zerg's way behind. What you guys have to understand is the might of a top Zerg macro player. Look at like how quickly he drones this third now that it's up. I think it's going to be very fast. Not only that, he's ahead in tech in that he's got a second Evo already. Infestation Pit's almost halfway done. He's going to be able to go like 3 base Ultra almost. Like not to mention Infestors could catch the first Marine move out and be super deadly. Maru's finding like pinpricks of damage, but that's really all it is, right? Spore Crawler breaks the bloody pick off there. And he runs away. And remember, you can't repair the medevac with the SCV. You can only repair the other units inside. Now, is that Cyclone's hit points changing, guys? Does it look like it's getting greener? I don't think so. And this is why I think it was... Oh, no, it is. It is. He is. Okay, he is repairing it. Good to know. I was like, it is. Okay. I was like, damn, that sucks if he's not using it. No, he is repairing it. Good to see from Maru. Using the cool mechanic. Pig, the score is backwards. Sorry, guys. I must have set that up. Maybe I sometimes I set up the score when the players aren't in the corresponding things, and then I flip the scoreboard, and it's like, bro, you already set up the numbers. Sorry, guys. It's a shame those default hotkeys are also next to the hotkey that does this. I could modify them. The problem is StarCraft hotkey profiles always get reset all the time due to BattleNet 2.0 being a little janky. So I try to make my observing profile basically defaults with a single change, which is I change it from, normally it's Control plus F, you have to hold down to follow units like we're doing right now. I change it so it's just one button press, so it's just F. Ooh, barely saves the Cyclones. Oh, it's mech. Oh, it's mech. It just dawned on me. Is it? No? Oh, no, it is bio. Sorry, it's just a second factory. I was like, how did I miss that he's playing mech? I was like, didn't I see 2 eBays? Yes, we did see 2 eBays. 4th command center comes down. 5 barracks are there. There's very few Marines on the map. Just 20 for now. This has been a super economic play for Maru. He wants to play to 4 bases before he does anything else. Serral's 4th base only now getting saturated. I mean, Maru has more mining, but Serral has 6 Ravagers, 3 Infestors, 49 Zerglings. And not just that, these Infestors were out so early, they're going to have 6 Fungals between them by the time Maru thinks about moving out. And if Maru moves out with his first serious harassment, and just gets caught by Fungal, he's kind of screwed. Now, the Banshee does go down to a single Fungal. Serral should just Fungal it. He should have just Fungaled that Banshee. It's below 25 hit points, so 1 Fungal will kill it. It's the rare case where you can actually use Fungal as a damage-dealing spell. But oh my gosh, Maru, you saw the Infestors? What are you doing out here, Maru? Maru! Okay, he only loses 4 Marines. That could have been a lot worse. But to get the luck of seeing the Infestors with the Banshee and then still walking into the trap, I thought he was about to throw away 16 Marines for no reason, which would have been a disaster. This is Serral's advantage right now. His economy sucks. Serral's on 61 drones, guys. He's on 61 drones. He's got great tech. And his whole plan has been like, if you push now, I ambush you with this Ling Ravager Infestor. And Mari's like, mate, I'm just rushing a 4th base. Like, I'm going to destroy you at max out, not before then. But Serral's going to have such a nice maxed out army. I would describe this as a game where most likely the first big battle at max out, which is going to happen in about a minute's time, maybe 2 minutes time, probably decides the entire game. And it's going to be Ultras up against Biomine. Ultras are very good against that army, but Fungal can absolutely destroy you as the Terran, which is why I'd love to see Maru. I think he should have already pushed a bit harder. Half of his army's at home. What's he doing on the map? Maru, what are you doing on the map? What is this? Okay, luckily these Lings come in and force him home because he's just sent half of his army on the map, which is one of the worst things you can do. Serral wants to stomp your army. You've left all your tanks at home. He's now at least bringing all the Biomine over here, but Maru is tilted in this game. The heat's getting into him. And I think we're learning one thing, guys. I said the Finnish people can't handle the heat. I was wrong. Serral's been training in the sauna his entire life. Koreans, they don't know what a sauna is. I'm pretty sure there's saunas in Korea as well, but I don't think they use it as much as the Finns. And it feels like him being out here is very dangerous. Oh, he saves his units, though. Good move, good move. He does save his units, doesn't throw his army away, but it just a little questionable on the movements for Maru, where one has to question his intention, because he's not massing command centers just yet. Yes, he's building a 5th, which is good, but I like the Widowmine drop. I like this as a non-committal drop. Just don't want to throw these units away. Only 1 Marine going down, not too bad. Banshee flies in, does die to the Queens. Widowmine drop on the left. These are decent moves. He's just got to make sure he has a clear follow-up. Widowmine drop comes in there. Only 2 of the 3 Widowmines get out. A couple Zerglings take care of that quite easily. Okay, 3 drones just spawned there. And that's where that kill came from. This Widow Mine just boomed them. 2 more command centers coming down. Maru's going to take these rocks down, which will help him defend. Put a tank behind that. Zerg's going to really struggle to break those rocks. A couple Marines do get cleaned up on the left side. Serral kind of going first right here. And Serral, he might only have 73 drones. His creep spread kind of sucks. He was behind from earlier on in this game, but he's getting to Ultras, Lings, and Festers. He's got Baneling Nest coming in. He does lack a Spire. I think that should be the next step for Serral. But Serral's like, bro, I'm on 73 drones. If you think I can afford Corruptors, you're dreaming. And I think he's probably correct. Corruptors are expensive. Ling's coming forward with the Ultras. Ling's going to jump on top of this army on the left. No Medivacs there. Caught out in no man's land. Trying to multi-push against a guy with his Infestors is incredibly dangerous, especially someone as good as Serral with their map control. See the bio trying to start a set back now. That looked like a bit of a half-ass push to the left side. Serral, of course, takes a bit of confidence from that. Moves in. You can see he's out trading Maru right now. And that's the power of early Infestors. To give you guys a feel for Infestors, we're going to use my favorite reference, that time I was beating Clem for 20 minutes in 2024. Just to give you guys an idea of how good Infestors are, I out-traded Clem for 22 minutes on Crimson Court, one of the most Terran-favored maps, because all I did was have an abundance of Infestors, and he kept trying to push into it. Did I get destroyed in the late game? Yes. Is Clem infinitely better than me? Yes. The point is, if you move out with drops like this, a fungal could always hit you if you're not picture perfect on dodging those. And luckily for him, Serral's Infestors are a bit behind, but this is always going to happen inevitably. You know there's Infestors on the field. I've got to question Maru's decision-making. If there was Corruptors here as well, and the Spire is now on the way, this would be even worse. There's an Infestor here as well. He's going to push in. There's another Infestor. He can't be taking these risks. Maru, I mean, he doesn't want to sit back. He's not willing to turtle, but turtling is clearly the correct game plan here. It's clearly the correct game plan. He's got to go ghosts. He's got to build planetaries and slow this game down. This is a good map for late game turtle. Because you get like 4 base. Look at the bottom right, guys. Look at how tight these bases are. There are 4 bases right next to each other. It's a Terran dream. There are maps where it's so hard to expand and cover those bases in the late game. It's so much better for Zerg, but I think this map is really good for Terran late game expansions. You don't need to deny. Let Zerg take the top left. All you need to do is secure this bottom right, and you will absolutely wear Serral down in the late game. Up in workers right now is Maru, trading. Very close to even. Fungal catches the Medivacs. They can't load, so the bio... Normally you see the Fungal land on the bio, but by fungling the Medivacs, he actually stops the bio getting picked up either way. Very cute creative problem solving there for Serral. Another Fungal comes down, and luckily most of the Infestor energy is now being used up. You'll notice Serral's playing this Infestor-heavy style, where he's relying on the Infestors to punish Maru for moving on the map, and he is out-trading him. And this is the power of heavy Infestor Fungal against a Terran who refuses to give up map control. He walks into another Fungal, and Maru's pushes just nonsensical. It looks like Clem is playing here. Normally it's Clem who just can't stop attacking. Normally Maru knows better than this, but that heat in Paris might be getting to him. People like to talk about the smell on the Paris streets, you know? The smell, the soft scent of urine on the Paris subway system. The delicate sense of garbage on the Paris streets. I don't think it would, people exaggerate. I think it's not like New York in the summer, man. It's not like New York in the summer. But definitely quite a few of my subway experiences there it's been a soft scent of urine for sure. Here we go. Bio moving down the right side. Maru, can he finally find that fight he's looking for? It feels like only a small part of the army is here. Serral just biled his own units there. It looked like a misclick. The Ravagers get taken down. Nice Fungal. Fungal plus Corruptors. Oh my god, those Medivacs are getting hammered. The Marauders getting taken down by the Ultra Ravager. Serral does lose the hatchery. Maru might be fighting back, but he's losing so many Medivacs. The Widow Mine's cleansing a lot of his units. These Infestors going down, though. This is a weird fight. On the ground, I kind of feel like Maru overcommitted and lost way too many units. Sorry, Serral overcommitted and lost too many units. But in the air, Serral kind of dumpstered him. Those Corruptors did crazy damage. Units lost tab tells us that Serral is now 1,600 resources ahead in the trading. This is a really weird game. Still lots of tanks and a Liberator on the left side. Maru rallying everything to the right. Remember, Maru's had such a big worker count as well. He's struggled to kind of match Serral's army. Serral's now got up to 82 army supply. Serral has a big army on the left side as well. Corruptors coming in are really going to help him. deal with the libs and the medevacs. The ghost count still at 0. There is a Ghost Academy. Maru not willing to slow down the game enough for that. He wants to kind of secure these bases with the biomine, be more aggressive, and ooh, mass ling drop. I love it on this map, but Maru is pretty well prepared. It's this left side has not got as many turrets as it needs, though. If Serral goes down the very left flank, he could dodge those turrets. He's going to fly into the turrets right now. The Ewoks are having a party with the Tauren Space Marines down there around the campfire, by the way. Fungal's coming in. A couple of Marines and Marauders going down. Corruptors taking out the medevacs. Wow, the Zerg coming in. Big Fungals landing all over. The Corruptors taking out those medevacs is just so costly. Every time fights like that happen for Terran, Zerg's going to be coming out on top. That's a good chase, though. He gets 2 Infestors there. Almost gets an Ultra as well. Will snipe the hatchery. Really well done. Good cancel for Serral. More Lings running on the left side. Lings don't care too much about tanks and libs. You need either a few bio units or like a full bunker or a planetary. All of those are good at dealing with Zerg. But you can see the tanks and the lib really struggle to actually clear that up on the right side. Maru chasing a bit too far. Takes some big Fungals to the chin. He can obviously reinforce these armies for a long time, can Maru? But I do think slowing the game down is in his interests. I think putting a planetary here to secure this side and rallying everything to secure the bottom right is the key. I often talk about, I think Maru makes a big tactical mistake in late game versus Serral where he tries to push both sides at once. I think the advantage for Terran is in a more static situation. Trying to play this mobile game and kind of outpace Ultra Ling Bane Infestor Corruptor. It's no one, you just can't do that. Clem occasionally pulls it off, but it's not real. Like Zerg's meant to have the advantage with this unit comp. If he was on Lurkers, it would be a different story. If he was on Broodlords, it would be a different story. But Serral is not. Serral has built the most mobile Zerg army in the arsenal, and you've got to respect that. Oh, wow, the Corruptors coming on the bottom right. Uses Caustic Spray, snipes down the planetary there. Brilliant play there for Serral. Of course, new command center will float over. You don't really want a planetary back here. It's in the corner anyway. You're going to be defending in front of it. Dude, what a great game. I love this map, by the way, just aesthetically, but also now looking at it and going, hey, look at the way this is playing out. These edge bases are hard to deal with. There's like, it's quite a big map in some regards, and yet the choke points all over it are very scary for Zerg, but there's enough angles where Zerg can kind of outposition and maneuver and ambush. No, you know what we haven't seen, guys? There's ledges. You can put tanks on these droppable ledges. He's got 3 tanks in this game. It's kind of criminal that he's not been doing that, especially now that the Ravagers are all gone. If Maru actually uses those ledges, he could be raining death from the high ground. Serral would have to rebuild Ravagers or make Broodlords or Mutas or something like that. But most players forget that exists. Ultra Ling Corruptor coming forwards. Infestor popping up from the right side. He burrows, he unburrows, he lands a Fungal. Maru getting overwhelmed right now. He doesn't have an answer to these Ultras. No ghosts in here. Libs keep going down to the Corruptors. The medevac count getting hammered. The Marauders need to pull back. There's not much answer to the Zerglings. Planetary on the right side trying to hang on. He's got to repair that Planetary. He cannot be losing this Planetary. But look at that. The Banelings. The Banelings. Needed to target the Banelings with the Planetary while mass repairing. As it is, Serral gets a base snipe. A criminal base snipe there. And he is still trading 600 resources ahead. Now, Maru actually has more money, guys. Maru has more money long term. And he, as long as he denies these middle bases, he'll still win. Serral's kind of desperate. Serral needs to, like, I think once again, bust this left side. If he comes in with like 40 Zerglings and a few Corruptors, kills this, gets Lings on the tanks, gets Lings on the SCVs. Yeah, you're not going to kill Chadhammer on the high ground, but you don't need to kill Chadhammer. She can kill your Zerglings. It's Zerglings. They're basically free units. Well, I mean, I guess not with Serral's economy, they're not. Serral kind of needs to win the main fight as well. I don't know if just counterattacks are enough. But you can see how dense this base expansion pattern is in the bottom right and just how much this favors Terran. If you can just centralize your forces on one side, you're big. But the lack of planetary on the left, nothing but one lib, means that left and potentially your production could be open. If Lings get up the ramp onto the production, that's where things can go awry. Greatest Spy has not been made this game. It's just +2 attack, +1 armor for the Corruptors so far. The air units of Terran have +3 vehicle armor. No attack upgrades for ships or tanks. Alright, the first Widow Mine doesn't fire. The next 2 only getting the front-running Zerglings. Widow Mines aren't very effective when your opponent's got a few Lings in front of their army that they track onto. You've got to turn to fight and shoot those front-running units down. But that Orbital's going to go down. This is a big snipe. Maru counterattacks. He eats big Fungal Baneling, though. Oh, Maru busts the Ultras down, but he overcommits there. He loses the Orbital on the left side. He loses the factory, which means he's down. He's got 3 factories still, but he does lose a lot of army. A massive turning point in this game where Serral has secured the left side base, defends this top right side, and Maru still has not got this command center up. Now, Maru still has these 2 bases he can leapfrog to, so he's got way more survivability on this map than he normally does, but he's got to secure this left side. Either there or here with the planetary and a few units behind it. He's still got Chadhammer on the high ground. Main army obviously has to focus on the bottom right. Corruptors coming in for yet another. I mean, there's run-bys, there's drive-by shootings. What is this, guys? A drive-by P-buy? Is it a P-buy? This reminds me of my share house days. A lot of people used to park across the driveway of our share house because we were next to, like, we were close to a train station and we were near, like, a library and some other buildings and stuff. So people would just, like, park across our driveway and park us in all the time. Let's just say they found out about the P-buy on their car door handle many times. Anyways, Ultra Lingbane Infestor does come in here. They're going to try and push back the bio. Great fungal on the Marauders. Corruptors coming in from the right side as well. The Ultras trying to get on top. One of those Ultras does go down. There are a few of them and the Infestors pulling away. You got to be careful chasing into Fungal Ultra. Was that a good fight for Serral? Sorry, I keep the units lost tab up. I should keep the production tab up. I apologize, guys. It's just such a fascinating game. It's my first time watching a really close action-packed late game in Blackrock. I think this is by far the best game of the series so far. It's been so close because Maru's been rich all game, but Serral's been out trading him until recently, when now Maru's ahead 2,000 in the trading. But because Serral's got that middle base mining on the left, if Serral could get one more big run by in here, and like I said, if he gets Lings on the high ground and clears Chadhammer, I just think Maru, he does that. If he can get like 80 Zerglings, some Corruptors, whatever, fly in there, and then the Remax hits the right side while Maru's whole army's F2ing home into the main to defend, I think Maru's going to struggle so hard to defend that. But remember, that's the mindset of someone who wants to counterattack, who wants to do run-bys, who wants to be a bit fancy. Serral, I always have called a bit more of a hard-headed player. He likes to win front-on, efficient fights. Like, Serral doesn't really play like a classic Zerg in that he tries to just beat you front-on a lot of the time. He will do these small little technical counters, but even here, he's not really countering. He's waiting for Maru to push so we can ambush it. He's not really looking to push himself. And you can see, oh, Maru just keeps delivering, but oh, the Infestor popped up a bit too soon. Does get sniped down by the Marauders. Bit of a mistake there. Serral turns what should have been an easy ambush into a bit of a loss. Fungal Corruptor, dude, the Medivacs. The Medivacs going down to the Corruptors at the same time. It's not just the bio. The Corruptors add so much value in these sorts of fights, but the Widow Mines are clearing the Lingbane, and he should be able to hold the planetary. Good defense for Maru, and that's it. You start with what looks like an excellent fight. Oh, beautiful burrow there. Forces the scan. You can see Maru now 4,000 resources ahead in the units lost. Lings are clearing these rocks all over. Serral's attention to detail second to none. He wants more wide open areas. He doesn't want to be fighting in choke points. Serral getting pushed back there. He's getting overrun right now. Even though Maru's down in supply, Serral has a massive army that's on the left side of this map. He's going to have to bring those guys into the middle. And he's going to look to sandwich. So many turrets everywhere. We've got a factory building here, guys. I think he wants a reactor, because I think he's got 3 tech lab factories, all or even no add-ons on a bunch of them, just kind of building Widow Mines one at a time, which is a little bit interesting. Yeah, 2 tech labs and 1 with no add-on. Wants to have a reactor as well. Widow Mine count is still snowballing. There is still no ghost commitment on this map, even though I think it's a great turtle map for late game. Bio's there trying to fight the Corruptors coming in. The SCVs will be able to repair the planetary. It should hold, I believe, but wait, more Ultras coming in from the left. There's another tank and another planetary. Not much repair on that right side. If the Zerglings kill that planetary, especially with the Caustic Spray, that could be massive. The Ultras will get pushed back there, but too late on the repair, and the Corruptor's Caustic Spray with the Zergling assist does take it down. The Infestors get chased, but they pop up, land the Fungal, and they say, how dare you chase into Fungal Ultra? Your hubris will not go unpunished, you foul, foul Terran. That's how Serral speaks, guys. Also plays in like a suit of armor, apparently. Drinks from a chalice in between rounds. At least in my headcanon. Corruptors are flying forwards. Ultraling Bane dancing backwards. There's still 27 Banelings. That reserve army that he had defending that left base. He knows how important this base is. Maru needs to be hitting this with like a Liberator or a single dropship. But the right side is where he's under siege right now, and this base going down would be devastating. The Banelings are going to find the worker line and the planetary, and he quickly tries to escape. Retribution, but Maru will punish at least a few of those Infestors. A lot of the Ling Bane, 12 more SCVs go down. Maru's army supply out of control right now. He's on 7 orbitals. Losing SCVs here is not the end of the world for Maru. He can keep spamming mules, and he's got, right now, 2 tanks, 1 more building. He's got 22 Marauders, 25 Marines, 18 Widow Mines. Serral's still trying to desperately get him off this right side base. I think Serral might be running out of steam here. Maru just needs to not make any big mistakes. I think for the next, like, 2 minutes, Serral needs a big victory because his resources are going to be running out. And as long as Maru ends up eventually mining this right side, he will be ahead. Zergling run by there while the main army comes in on the front. The Widow Mine plus Bio Spready doing what they can. He's got to watch out for the fungals. Microbial Shroud actually comes down. Very cute move. Don't want to be losing the orbital. SCVs on this side getting hit by a Zergling run by. So many SCVs going down. That's actually very frustrating. Oh, Maru. Maru's so distracted. Oh my gosh, Maru missed Zerglings on both bases. Oh, you can tell Maru's lost his cool. Maru's lost a little bit of situational awareness. The intensity Serral's playing at really distracting him. That's going to be another 5 or 10 SCVs going down. Turns out 5. 5 is the finishing tally, as well as a lot of mining time. Serral being a nuisance. You can see he's just baiting scans. He's being so annoying here. Serral's only got 1,000 minerals in the bank. Maru is mining, I think, out of way more available minerals than him. I mean, there's still a fair bit on this left side, but it's such a nail-bitingly close game. Units lost time 6,000 in favor of Maru. Testament to Serral's Infestor efficiency that it's been so close for so long. He's got 8 Ultras, still no Ghosts on the map, and with so many Corruptors, Libs aren't much of an answer either. So you've really got to be looking here for that next step. Is there going to be an answer to the Ultras, or are we just relying on the Marauders? Because Marauders can do it, but if they get hit by a good fungal, things go bad very quickly. Ooh, great move. Gets an Infestor. Don't want to chase any further, though, because now Serral sees you coming, and surely you're not going to get another one. Hold my beer, says Maru. Gets a second high-energy Infestor. Moves a few Widow Mines forward to try and create a little bit of map control. Oh, beautiful spready there with the hold position from Serral, but he needs Overseers. They do come in from behind. Broodlords. Broodlords. Okay, Broodlords. What's he got to answer Broodlords? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing answers Broodlords. Broodlords are a checkmate. And they're not seeing they're out of scan range. Holy moly. The genius. To think of it. He says, you're not playing Ghost Soul game. 7 Broodlords. There is no answer. The Widow Mines will just brutally friendly fire. Except that one, which the Broodlords actually walk into since they don't have an Overseer with them. Zerglings go for a run by at the same time because he knows a lot of players are going to try and counterattack. Run around you when you go Broods, but he's still got this big mobile army on the front as well. The Widow Mines, there's 18 Widow Mines on this field. They're all doing nothing but friendly fire. The siege tanks, they're gonna have no answer. Wow. Wow. Now the ghosts start. No Thors, no Vikings, no ghosts. If he even had 4 Vikings, he's got an answer to this. Just a few Vikings, 1 or 2 Thors could have answered 7 Broodlords, or might have been able to, but he's not got anything ready. And Maru kicking himself. He was actually winning this game, but he just did not foresee the Broodlord transition coming. And the thing about Broodlords is they're not the be-all, the end-all. They are not the most amazing unit in the game. We all know that. But when your opponent is too heavily committed on tanks or mines, they suddenly become amazing. And that's exactly what this game was. It was basically a pure mine commitment with a few leftover tanks. No Ghosts, no Thors, no Vikings. And the Broodlords are just getting amazing value. Just look at this, the Widow Mines, they're not able to do their job, which means it's just Marine Marauder Ghosts getting pushed backwards by the Broodlords. They don't have all the support they normally have. Ghosts coming out, Microbial Shroud on the Ultras, the Broodlord's still dancing, a few snipes will go down from those Ghosts, but he's not even got many scans, and Maru's mining being completely annihilated. Serral now taking advantage of this to build a bank while he pushes and stays permanently maxed. He's got no anti-air support. As I said, there's no answer. 2 Vikings are a problem. The Infestors caught big EMPs on the face, but the Microbial Shroud goes down. Fungal lands on some of the units. That Microbial Shroud working so much. The Ghosts have no energy. New Ghosts are worse than Marauders in a lot of engagements because they just don't have any snipes available. And there we go. You can see 1 or 2 snipes go down. 1 or 2 Ultras fall. The Vikings finally take care of the Broodlords, but only after his economy has been absolutely shattered. Maru down to 9 SCVs. He's only got 5 orbitals and a brilliant switch into Broodlords. We always talk about how pro gamers have a blind spot around Broodlords, where I always say Zerg players forget that Broodlords exist. They go, Broodlords are a bad unit. And remember, there is no such thing as a bad unit in StarCraft 2. There are just units that have less useful circumstances than others. When people say something's bad, they mean it has very few useful circumstances. Right? That's what we're really saying. And even pro gamers sometimes get a bit too hyperbolic where they go, no, the unit's bad, it's trash, it's garbage. And they forget, even the most garbage unit in StarCraft still has a use case where it's suddenly the absolute solution to the matchup. And I think Maru himself forgot about Broodlords being a possibility, as did Serral for the longest time. And then Serral realized, hey, I'm running out of money, my bank's getting low. And I think it was actually desperation that forced Serral into this, where he said, I need to find more efficiency. And he cast his Minder and he said, well, there's only one tool I haven't really built yet, other than the Lurker. And that is the Broodlord. And he realized there's no Vikings, no Thors, no Ghosts. It was perfect answer to what Maru had. And it is going to be the secret to his success here in this game. Maru still has a bigger army supply. But Serral, he's not out of mining yet. He's still got 2k minerals a minute coming in. It's not an insane amount of minerals, but if he can secure this base, that's a problem. Maru's even lost these mineral patches, which means he's very low on mining now. Infestors are behind. Here comes the Ultraling Bane Infestor trying to roll in those 2 siege tanks from earlier, trying to get some more kills. Beautiful fungal on the Marauders. But it does feel like the Ghost Marauder pulling around that corner took a pretty decent angle. But of course, the command center takes big damage at the same time. I kind of feel like he should commit to kill the command center. Yeah, Ultra chomps it. Nice fungal lands on these Ghosts. He doesn't have enough Ultra Baneling to convert that. There's not even scans from Maru to kill these burrowed infestors underneath his face. Serral here, of course, going to remax on the Ultraling. Army supply close to dead even. Surely Maru can't make this a game. Surely not, with how limited his mining is. But he scans, and he's like, well, you don't have that many minerals left. Maybe? It's a banger game. It's looking like it's going to be going 3-0 to Serral, and yet this is such a good game. I always fear that when Serral's beating Maru, Maru's going to tilt a little bit, kind of give up, go, how do I beat this guy, and go the other way. And this time, no. This has actually been a massive step up on this map, but that Broodlord swap just took a nail-bitingly close game and turned it into a nightmare for Maru. People in chat talking about studying the game for build knowledge. I guess we could talk about that later. For now, how would you finish this game? I would hit the left side, guys. I would come around here with Mass Zergling and hit the production with like 80 Zerglings and an Overseer, and I would just basically say there's no way you can defend both sides at once. When you go to deal with that, I dive in here and try to deny this base, basically, and this one especially. Serral's already got those Lings on the left, but he's using it more as like a Widowmine cleanup crew. Ultraling Bane Infestor on the right side lands another fungal. These medevacs going down, remember, is a big part of it. The fungal plus Corruptor's doing great damage. Can he get on top of the Ghosts? He lands another fungal, Lings from behind, and that is a devastating engagement. All the medevacs getting pushed back. Many of them died. The Viking Liberator does get taken out by the Corruptors. Just enough Corruptors to clean up that air army. And that's a brilliant engagement. The Corruptors are such an important piece of the late game Zerg puzzle. They're one which for years people underestimated, and they're realizing these days that those libs, those medevacs are such costly units that do end up just getting overrun. Very nice play there by Serral. He ends up winning Blackburn with a beautifully timed Broodlord tech switch. Alright guys, Serral with a decisive game 3 there. Playing from down on economy for a long time, but Maru couldn't quite finish him off and then ended up getting overwhelmed. We're going into Sanctuary. Maru's got to win 3 games in a row. He's a little slow to start his depot. Slightly sloppy on the opening there for Maru. Perhaps a sign of nerves. Winning 3 games against Serral, something I would expect Clem to have a chance of doing. Though it'd be very, very difficult for him. Hero, maybe. Hero's a wizard. He can always find a way from anywhere to do anything. But it's so hard when the goat's up this far, because so many players, when they're up 3-0, they kind of like just play standard and just like, oh, and they kind of stop playing as if they're the underdog, and they stop playing with very good game plans and tricky little adjustments. Serral's not like that. Serral will be on point from start to finish, and he's going to try and do, it looks like a Hatchcast pool build. So no 15-15 this time. No early queens. Going to go for probably the quicker Ling speed, and we'll see how we go. I think this is going to be really fascinating, because for those who aren't familiar, as, you know, this was the rivalry for so many years where we just never see them match up in the big tournaments, or very rarely. There was like a best of one in GSL versus the World, which Serral won, and everyone went, yeah, that's one map, who cares? And then for a couple years, it was just finally they started playing a lot, and Maru seemed like he was either not as in tune with StarCraft, his shoulder injury was out of control, he couldn't play very fast. Serral was wiping the floor with Maru for a couple years there. And we kind of thought, oh, it's not really a rivalry. Now, earlier this year, Maru came out and beat Serral pretty damn well in, was it Thunderfire? It was one of those tournaments at the start of the year. He beat him very decisively in 1 or 2 tournaments even. Now, Serral did fight back in Pigfest. He lost the first set to Maru decisively, came back and turned it around in the second one in Pigfest, and it felt like got back on top. Now we're seeing Serral once again in another big tournament, and he's taking control and not letting Maru get going, and that's got to be frustrating as Maru here. You thought you got that monkey off your shoulder, beating Serral a couple of times in big events after years of getting dominated, and you know, obviously there was that big TSL win he had over Serral back in the online era, like 2021, 2022. I think he like 4-0 to 4-1 Serral, which is a really big one. But I think there was also the monkey over his shoulder of that was online. You know, it wasn't at the live TSL. And Serral just has this different aura about him at live events. There was a period there during the online era where Serral was much more mortal. 2021, 2022, Rainer was beating him up regularly. He was dropping series to people here and there. And then the moment things went back to live, we saw that Katowice 2022. And oh my lord, that finals against Rainer was just absolutely on fire. But he just refused to go down. Ended up winning that Katowice. And of course, since then, Serral's been just on an absolute tear. Even during periods where Clem was bullying Serral, and it just pushed Serral to the next level, where he figured out so many new builds for ZVT, became an expert at doing all of them. Yet again, the Ling Flood. So this is a similar build to what he did on, is it Verdant Temple? Whatever the map was where he took the corner base. The difference is obviously no corner base this time, but essentially it's the same build. Going to try and do a Ling Flood, and the Overlord's up here, so he doesn't see the Hellions move out. We can see when the Hellions arrive here, and that might trigger him to click them in, or he could wait for the third and fourth Hellion to move out. We'll see. Looks like he's just going to go. Now this command sign, if he could stop that finishing, that would be brilliant, but I think it will be able to finish. Ling's trying to get up the ramp. Those Hellions are on the outside. The SCVs can body block with the Marine and the two Hellions trying to fight this. Good micro here for Maru. Say, this doesn't look like it's done that much damage. You've sacrificed building a lot of drones to get this going. I think 5 SCVs. Maru's got to be happy with this. Like, it's still annoying to lose 5 SCVs, but you know, your mules can go back to minus 20 Zerglings. Cost for cost, it's a 2-to-1 trade in Terran favor. And with 3 orbitals up, I think you're A-okay. Now, obviously, people look at the working and go, look how overpowered Zerg is. You gotta realize Zerg Tech's gonna be behind in this game, my friends. This does not come for free. He's only got 4 queens. Needs to build 10 more Zerglings to stop the Hellions running past. And remember, for Zerg, you always have to get quite far ahead on drones. Why? Because then the moment you're building gases, evo chambers, every structure is a dead worker. So for Zerg, it's like you get ahead on workers, but then when you're building all your tech, your infrastructure, your worker count often just gets frozen. You're constantly building workers, but your worker count doesn't go up very quickly. And that's where, of course, a Terran player is dropping mules 3 at a time. Going to catch right up. Double engineering bay comes in behind this, so it is going to be 2-1-1. Double medevac drop coming out. Not very early, of course. It's going to be quite delayed because of the run-by damage, but will be coming out in the future. Carapace has started for Zerg. And having that upgrade lead on Carapace over the +1 weapons of Terran always feels really good now. Why is there an armory? Is he going to do... Oh, he's going to do a stim Hellbat timing. Okay, very cute. Maru going to try and take advantage of the Queen Zergling defense, but often this means there's almost no units at home. So these 5 Zerglings, they don't look like a lot. If he saves them and runs them in later, they could be really good, but unfortunately, they do get spotted and they go down. Serral doesn't give up map control though, continues with more Zerglings forwards, could go for a surround. He finds himself a Hellion. He also sees the medevacs coming forward, which is so useful. And look at this, he's delaying the timing so much. Forces the medevacs to unload. He's grabbing a few SCVs there. The one on the natural did survive. Gets 1 SCV there. Most importantly, sees what's coming. Delays it. On the other hand, it doesn't really give him time to get anything specifically for it. Okay, he's just going to pull every queen to the front. See, he's building 2 more queens, pulling his queens, and getting more transfuse energy. And honestly, Mass Queen can defend this. The Zerglings do not want to engage into the Hellbats at all. You kind of want to loop around and surround the Marines. He's also going to run into the third with a few more Zerglings. He's going to really test Maru's multitasking because he needs to hit his timing. He's already delayed, but he's getting attacked on his third, and that's going to be at least 3 SCVs going down. Here comes the Stim Marine Hellbat push, guys. The Queen's actually doing some pretty good damage on those Marines, but here we go. The Hellbat's causing issues. Zerglings go for a nice surround. Oh, they take some big shots. Serral may have overcommitted into that. This is quite a few Zerglings. 2 queens, 55 Zerglings have gone down. Maru only down 5 or 6 workers. Got vehicle weapons on the way. 4th and 5th barracks building. Keeps his units alive for now. Lets them start healing up. He can join up for some future attack. I think this is a really great game for Maru. And I love that Maru's not tilting. He's not kind of teetering off and just taking some crazy risk. He's playing solid StarCraft. +2 carapace is on the way now as well. Ling's moving around the right side. Double drop up in the left. This 5th base is a no-no. Maru is going to move in. Click it. Serral cancels because he's that fast. Would have been nice if Maru waited for every Marine to get in range before he clicked on it. But a few Overlords, some creep spread, and a hatch cancel. All very good kills for Maru, who interestingly drives south. He wants to stop this creep as well. Ah. Now this is a classic, guys. Ling Bane. He's going to wait for Maru to push. And when Maru pushes, going to blow up the natural wall off, get in the natural, run into the main, the natural, and split some Lings into the 3rd. If Maru leaves Chadhammer here, he should be okay. Or could be okay, I should say. If he moves Chadhammer out, he's in big trouble. Lingbane hiding behind. It's one of my favorite moves. A lot of people always just hit the 3rd from that side, but from this side, where are the SCVs from the 3rd going to run? They have nowhere to run. And you could bust the natural at the same time. Oh, he goes in a bit of a line, though. Because he was hiding behind the minerals, these Lings need to get on top of the siege tank. They will. That's a really good attack, though. SCVs on this base are taking big damage. Good pull away for Maru, honestly making the best of an awkward situation. And he's going to try and fight this with SCVs and the 1 or 2 Marines that are still alive. Maru, he's got to push down south. He's got 2 tanks moving forwards. Serral never making it easy for Maru, is he? The Marines come forwards. And he can go around the bend, but he shouldn't go with so many Marines. This is too many Marines, because he's going to have to pick them all up whenever the Banelings get on top. I think he should stay there now and kill the Spore. If you're going to commit that much to begin with, you kind of got to, but... Oh! Lings in the 3rd. Chadhammer doing so much friendly fire. That does hurt. 18 SCVs have gone down now. That's a lot of worker damage. 4th Command Center is still building, at least for Maru, but Maru, he's got a big army at home. He's going to need to reinforce, otherwise this position could get overwhelmed. And it's a good position. The Queens are out of energy at this stage. The Marines and the Hellbats trying to pull back. Serral sets up a beautiful flank, and those 2 tanks will go down, but I think he taxed Serral pretty well. You can see he's ahead 1,500 in the resource trading. He's got another push coming through the middle. Unfortunately for him, it's pure Marine. Pure Marine can't really force fights. He can run in, snipe stuff, and run away. He can pick up at the last second. He's trying to fight with Pure Marine on creep. This is a crazy choice by Maru, but he pulls back just in time. 4th Command Center floating out for Maru right now. Ling run by comes in on that 3rd. It's wide open. Chadhammer 2.0 is in position. Of course, the first one got sniped by the Lings earlier. SCV's trying to run away. 14 workers going down. That brings the total up to a very high count, guys. 33 workers have died on the Terran side, only 2 on the Zerg side. If in the midst of this, Maru had a single dropship, a Liberator, anything to keep Serral busy, I think he'd be much better in the tempo war. But you can see in the tempo war, the APM war, the back and forth, Serral's a bit faster and a bit crisper than Maru. Maru's obviously way better than he used to be, but it's when you watch Clem against Serral, you can tell that Serral is struggling to keep up with Clem. And you're watching Maru against Serral, it's Maru who's struggling to keep up with Serral. There is levels to the speed and the multitasking in this game, and the problem Maru's having is he's letting Serral go first and pick where and when these fights happen. Maru's constantly having to react to these Lingbane counterattacks. Serral, the moment Maru tries to make a move, Serral clicks in these counterattacks that he's got planned. He says he waits for you to move out, and then bam, blasts into the 3rd, blasts into the 4th, and then jumps on your main army at the same time. Good luck microing in 3 places at once. Serral realizes, even when he's playing against Clem, he does the same thing. He just doesn't have as much success with it, because in the midst of it, Clem has got a Liberator here, has got a Mind Drop here. Maru's not been doing that. Maru's kind of trying to play a clean, calm game. But because he's not throwing a spanner in the works at all, Serral's never disrupted. And this is one of the biggest things, finding a rhythm in a StarCraft game. It's like trying to play piano, is how I describe StarCraft. Except you and the other guy are playing, sitting right next to each other, and you both have a hammer. At any moment, you're allowed to pick up the hammer and try to smash the other guy's fingers while he's playing his song. The difference in this game, I would describe as Serral is regularly picking that hammer up and taking swings at Maru's fingers, and Maru is just trying to purely dodge those hammer swings and play his song. He is not using his own hammer, and that's making this much easier for Serral then ZVT is meant to be. ZVT, it's all about forcing your opponent to react to you, making them look here, look there. If you're in the middle of trying a macro and suddenly you got to look here, look there, deal with this and that, it's really tough. Now Maru's trying to get going in the north side, but it's always just one single drop. The Liberator cleaned up in the middle, and it's back to Maru mostly being pinned at home. Serral is up 30 workers now. He's got a hive, 3-3 upgrades, kindness plating, and ultras coming out. He's got those 2 Vipers as well, which are going to be really good with parasitic bombs. And not only that, he's somehow found... Oh my god, he found room to do this. He's burrowed Banelings in the midst of everything else that's going on. It's the last thing you expect. There's so much going on in this game. There's no way you're thinking about burrow in this sort of game. Maru did step back from barely walking those Marines over it, but it's almost only a matter of time till he does it again, right? Abducts, way better than parasitic bomb in scenarios like this. Maru's going to stim in here, and he does scan. He does scan. Okay, he sees the Banelings. Oof, lucky for Maru. Maru's back to 70 workers. He's lost 49 this game to 6 of Serral. I do wonder on this map, what does late game look like, guys? If you mine out this mineral patch, you could take a really nice 5th in the middle. But then where do you expand from there? It has to be 6th, 7th, up the top side, and try to deny this base of Zerg, I think. Because you're always, as a Terran, looking for bases that are very close together. So this top side makes a lot of sense, because look how big the space is down here to get this one base. I often criticize Maru for making a tactical mistake where he tries to expand to both sides at once in late game against Zerg, especially against Ultralisk Kling Bane armies. He does this against Serral all the time. On this map, trying to expand down here is basically gifting a win to Zerg, because it gives them a very easy attack angle where you're never going to be prepared down there and up here at the same time. Lingbane Ultra just rolling through. I did not think this was a real push. I wasn't even talking about it because I thought Maru was faking him out. I thought Serral, was just poking forward. I did not think Serral was going to full send there. And yet he full sends, clears the worker line. The blinding clouds working overtime on this ramp. Maru's defenses just weren't spread enough. Serral even burrowing some Zerglings, and that's a game-winning fight. I'm so sorry. I thought Serral was poking forwards and was just going to pull back, because attacking into this choke point seems scary, but you had blinding clouds in the ramp, Ling's getting on the third, Serral's got a big army advantage, big economy advantage. He could take risks like that, and that it was actually, in hindsight, not really a risk. It was just a very good fight. He's got a Spire, he's got a Spire as well. His Lings are on burrowing in the third, finding even more SCVs. These Zerglings are so free at this point. They cost almost nothing. And Maru, I think, is just too far behind. And you can kind of see it now. What can he do? He's down almost 40 workers. His army supply is not great. That last fight, killing all those workers, just put him in an irrecoverable position. Blinding Cloud comes down. Tank and Planetary very exposed. Those 2 Ultras will kill that Planetary, I believe. Planetary might kill 1 Ultra before it goes down. And indeed it does, but it does fall at the same time. Banelings clear the ramp, smash through, and when Banelings are overwhelming Marauders, you know it's just a very, very strong game. I want to watch that last fight one more time, guys. Or not the last fight, but the one over here. So this fight, right? Look, almost all of Maru's army is down here. It's mostly Marine Marauder. A couple Blinding Clouds there. This army can't support. So what are you really dealing with? You're dealing with 2 Libs, 3 Siege Tanks, and a whole lot of Bio that can't do much once it gets Blinding Clouded. He manages to 2 Abducts on the Libs, which means they can't do anything. And a single Blinding Cloud in the middle of the ramp forces him back down there. You're going to see, does Serral manually split Zerglings north? He doesn't even manually split them, he just A-moves. He goes down, and he just does so much damage. Turns around at the tail end of that since, okay, the Libs are re-sieged, we don't have an answer, but a brilliant fight. It was also 3-3 versus 2-2, something I didn't notice in the heat of the action. Tries to burrow Banelings behind it. Serral, a masterclass of Zerg versus Terran. The heatwave in France, not affecting him at all, gets the 4-0, and goes to the grand finals.